Okay, so this is an example of another concept called pointing. And this concept is very frequently used in advertising. In this case, what happens is the way most people would look at this ad is they would come in at the top, at the jet d'or, they would look at the model's face, and then the hand is not just simply placed there. The hand is placed there on purpose so that it points down to the product. And so the flow of the ad in this case is like this and then down towards the product. And so this concept is called pointing. Here's another example of pointing. In this case, it's the sleeves of the shirt, of this men's ad, that's pointing down to the name of the product. So we have a lot of verticality in this ad, and it's pointing down to the name of the product. And then in this case, here's another ad, more playful ad. And in this case, it's the ingredients of the product in Beneful, so the carrot and the corn, and just sort of the idea that this stuff is falling leads you to go down to the name of the product. And so here, again, it's pointing to the dogs and the name of the product. So again, pointing in this case. In this ad, here's another ad for a food product, and this is for a milk product. And so what we would normally do is most people would look at the pouring of the milk, and then the pouring of the milk does what? It has you go by the headline, and then of course because of the way the pour is flowing, it goes to the picture of the carton, or in this case the product. So again, this is all pointing techniques. Or here in this case, just the way the model has her feet. These feet are positioned, and also the arms, by the way, her one arm is pointed downward, and also the way the folds of her essentially tunic are, they're all pointing down to the name of the product. So, they may have done, several hundred pictures or photos of this model, and then when they're doing the composition or the layout of the ad, they're picking just the right one that will allow them to use pointing. So the way the arms are positioned or the feet are positioned are often not by happenstance, but are actually, in this case, a design element. Another concept besides pointing is, and I just have one example of this, is a concept called big type. So here they draw your attention in because the type, in this case, bring it on, especially the on, is so large that if you were flipping through, in this case it was in a computer magazine, you would see this on, and so you might stop and pause and say, what is it that's on? And so that's what has drawn your attention. Again, this is a big type concept. Some ads have another concept in type, which is called copy heavy. So this is a copy heavy ad. Copy heavy just simply means that there's a lot of text. Usually a lot of texts are for products that the consumer might already be interested in. It might be a product that is very expensive, because anymore today most consumers are not going to read a lot of text unless they're highly motivated. And so we'll talk about high level of involvement or high level of motivation in other classes, but this is an example of high level of motivation. It's a very expensive watch in this case, and so if you were interested in this kind of watch, you might want to read about what makes it different or unique or compelling.